Welcome everybody to the GRM 2025 Global Revenue Management Challenge 2025 Staff Advisor meeting. Thank you all for joining us, for taking time out of your day to join us for this meeting, and also for volunteering your time and your effort to be a staff advisor for the challenge. It's a really crucial part of the process, and we really appreciate you putting in that time and effort for the students to be able to do this. 2025 is the 5th year of the GRM challenge, which is very exciting. And we are pleased to have another, I think we've got 13 teams this year from all across the ICE network. It will run this year for 4 weeks, as always. So we'll be opening next Monday on the 10th of March, and then it will be closing on Friday, the 4th of April. So that will be the competition window. You should have all now received your team allocations. And that will be all of the details for your students, so the communication, and for them to connect with you as their staff advisor. So we would encourage you to reach out independently to your students. And I know that some of you already have been in communication about setting up WhatsApp groups or messenger groups or email chains, whatever suits your team best, to stay in communication and to organize independently in order to undertake the challenge. So the GRM challenge, as you no doubt know, is run through the simulation, the Global Revenue Management simulation from Russell Partnership Technology. And so we've got Ms. Heidi and I are here today to help us out and to answer any questions on the technical side of things. And Heidi and I will both be available to support you and your students throughout the challenge as well. You've received your team allocations, and so now your logins will be received on Monday, on the 10th, and they'll be received directly from Heidi. Those will give you a unique access code to access the simulations. And so there's no need to sign up with Google or a personal email address or an institutional email address. That will all just be through that access code. And it will be one access code per team. So you won't have individual access for team members. You will all use the same access. So please just be aware and communicate to your teams that everybody is using the same access. And so everybody should be logging on together, making decisions as a team, and undertaking those attempts as a team. So each team will be allowed 3 attempts to go through the simulation, and each attempt in that virtual simulated hotel environment will be a 32-day period. So that's one attempt, is one run through that 32-day period in the virtual hotel. Then you'll receive your results. You can strategize, discuss, and then go back and tweak things for your second and third attempts. This year, we will also have, I think in previous years, there have been some technical questions about what counts as an attempt and what doesn't. And so this year, there will be a cutoff. The simulation itself will stop after 3 attempts, so it won't be possible to undertake more than 3 attempts. So that just allows for no gray areas and no concerns about taking too many attempts or too little attempts. So it will allow you to do as many attempts as the team is able to do for the challenge this year. All 3 attempts will also be considered in the final ranking. So you'll be able to see the leaderboards. I believe that's right, Heidi. You'll be able to see the leaderboard throughout the challenge. So you'll be able to assess how you're tracking.
If I can just jump in for a very quick moment, with the way that we've set the simulation, after the 3rd attempt, teams will not be able to get back in and see the leaderboard. So if you want to see the final leaderboard as of the time you've completed your 3rd attempt, I'm going to suggest that you take a screenshot because you will not be able to see it after that. So once you've logged out for the 3rd time, you will not be able to get back in to view the leaderboard. So great idea to just take a screenshot, and that way you see. Now, obviously other teams may not have finished by that point, but you'll at least know that your 3 attempts are on the leaderboard. Yeah, if you've saved them, and you must save them. Very important. Back to you, Elise. Sorry.
No, not at all. Thank you, Heidi. That's really helpful technical information. I think there's also available on the ICE website and on our video channels that we've sent you unlisted links to like a walkthrough of the simulation. So that's also a really good thing to have a look at as a staff advisor, and also to encourage your students to have a look at that simulation. To ensure fairness for all teams, nobody's able to have early access to the simulation to sort of get a feel for it. But that video will show you exactly, I think, how it will progress. So to give you an idea of what buttons are where and what the options are as you progress through each of those 32-day attempts with your team. And I think if you have any technical issues with the simulations, Heidi is the person to contact for that, and she'll be able to help you directly. So any issues with logins or with the simulation itself, if you're confused about any of the technical aspects, please go to her directly and she'll be able to help. We're both here to support you and your students throughout the course of the challenge. For example, if you are not able to get in contact with some of your students, because we understand that timings change, priorities change, people have exams, and sometimes students don't let us know in advance if they're not able to participate in the challenge. If you haven't heard from a student, please do continue to loop them in on all communications, just in case, unless they've specifically contacted you to say that they can no longer participate. And please just let us know so then we can try to reach out to them directly if you're not able to communicate with them. I'd also encourage you to keep a very close eye on your spam junk mail folder, because a lot of students have student numbers in their emails, and sometimes that can trigger a spam filter under different email portals. Does anybody have, I suppose, any questions at this stage about the challenge or about how the process of things will go?
At least maybe I can jump in just for a quick moment,
Yeah,
just
please.
to give, and I'll certainly include this when I send emails out to everyone with your team access. It's very important, two things. The first being that only one person is actually logged into the simulation at any point in time within your group. Because if two people log in at the same time and try to start the activity at the same time, that's going to count as 2 attempts. And you don't want that. You don't want to inadvertently lose an attempt right off the bat. The other thing is, and this is really, really important because of this automatic restriction we've put in that prohibits you from going in after your 3rd attempt. If you go in and you start an attempt and then you hit the reset button, you'll see there's a reset button in there that will still count as an attempt. So you don't want to be doing that. So it's really important to make sure as a team you are ready to put that attempt in fully at the time that you get together. Because if you go in and you get partway through and then you hit the reset button, that counts as your first attempt, and it obviously will not be able to go onto the leaderboard. So you don't want to waste that opportunity. We did a little testing and discovered that with this new setting. So just please be very mindful of that. That's the only thing I thought was worth mentioning. And I'll remind everyone of that in the information that I send out that you'll all receive on Monday.
Thank you, Heidi. That's really, really valuable tips. So that will be the simulation period, as I mentioned, you'll be able to access it from Monday, the 10th of March, when Heidi will provide your login details to you and your team. And then it will close on the 4th of April, which is a Friday, and I believe it's at midnight or 11:59 GMT. So if you want to, of course, all that information will go out again, and I think it's already sent to you with your team allocations. But just good to check what that is in your personal time zone and the time zone that you're coordinating with your students in, because of course one of the great things about the challenge, and we know that it is challenging, is that to have international and inter-institutional teams really does require some tricky time zones at times, depending on where all of your students and staff are coming from. So every year we do get feedback from students that maybe it would be easier, it would be a little bit more comfortable if they were working with students only from their region. But we really believe that this genuinely international environment is a valuable part of the challenge. So we hope that ultimately the benefits outweigh the challenges in that sense. So once the simulation period is complete, the winners will be announced, and that will be Russell Partnership Technology, obviously from the back end of the simulation, will be able to determine who has the highest scores on the leaderboard. And then there'll be the prize allocations, and we'll contact teams directly about that. As far as we're aware, the ICE GRM Challenge offers the best prize pool of any student competition. So we also reward the efforts of the top 3 teams. So third place teams are all given access to the Hospitality Business Acumen program, which is offered through Russell Partnership Technology. The second place team, every student member is given access to the Hospitality Business Acumen and also the Carter certification through CoStar Share Center, which is about hotel analytics data. It's an advanced version of the CHIA, which some of you might have undertaken or some of your students might have undertaken already. And that's really the best way to prepare for the challenge, we have found, either currently or for future years. And then the first place team will receive both access to both of those programs, as well as a 1,500 Australian dollar study bursary for each student on the winning team, and that is contributing towards their education. There are also prizes for the staff, and it's I think last year we started with this, and it's, I think as well, a Hospitality Business Acumen access, and it will be a random draw of all of the staff advisors. So regardless of where your team comes within the leaderboard, it's a random draw to acknowledge the efforts that you've made, and we really do appreciate. We couldn't make this all work without you, so we're very grateful for your efforts.
Elise, may I add just one more note just for everyone on the line? I will be the primary support relating to the simulation. I'm based in the southwestern part of the United States. So as a result of that, there's a bit of a time difference for many of us. So if you don't hear from me immediately, please know that that's why. But certainly I'm online fairly early in the morning until fairly late at night, my time. So I promise you will always get a response within 24 hours or less. But just so that you are aware that I am neither in Europe nor in Asia Pacific. So may just be a little bit of a delay in hearing back from me, but I promise that you will.
Thanks, Heidi. And that's a good reminder, actually, in terms of the challenge parameters, the dates. So it does finish at midnight GMT on the 4th of April. However, we encourage you to complete your last attempt with your team at least 48 hours before, because if there are any technical issues or anything that needs to be resolved, it needs to be resolved before the simulation cutoff. So as I think I mentioned, each attempt should only take about an hour on average. It might take a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on how much deliberation there is within the team around the decisions. But that's on average. So about 1 hour per attempt and 3 attempts within the 4-week window. Okay, I think that's everything from our side. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? I think some of you have previously been staff advisors, so if you have any tips or tricks for first-time advisors? No? Okay, easy. Well, as Heidi said, we're here to support you. So if you do, of course, think of any questions, please just contact us. We're here to help. Thank you all again for joining us and for being part of the challenge. And we wish you the best of luck as you launch on Monday.
Absolutely. Good luck, everyone.